What up? So, I will have Fred and them guys here shortly, probably. But I want to get started here, and we'll hit on when they get in here of how you can do $10,000 a day with one crew during hanging Christmas lights. But I have received an email earlier this week, and I want to read it of what happens when you take action. And not only what happens when you take action, but I'm also going to read that this is a guy that is starting literally like this past week. He listened to my live on Tuesday that I talked about last week, and he literally went and took action, and this is what happened. And so, I always say, is it too late to start Christmas lights now? We are in the end of these, right at the end of November, right at the beginning of December. And a lot of people ask me this, is it too late to start now? And my answer is no, it is not too late to start Christmas lights now. And here's why. So, like I say, I had a guy, and it's kind of a long email. He's a contractor. I already own a painting business. We do some framing. A few years ago, we installed some Christmas lights on probably 5 or 6 houses, used box store lighting, made a little bit of money, but it was a big headache, and I decided to stop doing it. This upcoming year, in 2022, we're starting a pressure washing, soft washing business, blah, 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 blah. He wants to come to my in-person training. Anyway, I think it was this past Thursday night, I watched the last video, how to make loads of money installing Christmas lights, and decided to take action. Immediately after watching it, somewhere in the video, you answered a question from someone who said, it's probably too late in the season to really get the Christmas light business going this year, but at least do something. And he put something in big words. Even if it's just 1 or 2 jobs, it's the experience gained before jumping into next season. So that's what I did. I found a nice picture of one of the installs we did prior years, posted it to Facebook that night, and with the explanation of how it worked. We had a few Facebook messages already that night, and in the morning, my wife posted it in a local neighborhood Facebook group, and my phone started blowing up. And Facebook messages started coming in. We got a bunch of tire kickers. My wife was replying that our minimum was $1,500, and if they could fit their budget, I'd follow up, or they would call and text me direct. In the middle of the day, I finally had a client not bat an eye at the $1,500 price tag. She was in my area of Anderson Township, so I stopped by, gave her a quote of $1,600. That was about 80 feet of roof line, some bushes, and a couple tiny trees and minis. She told me that her other quote was $1,000, and that included $600 worth of lights, labor. I told her that my $1,600 quote was more than fair, and I couldn't drop the price. I told her that $400 for a couple people to install and take down the store lights, that wasn't it. Sustainable business model, and I could lock her in for $1,600 for 3 years and get them up early this week. She agreed, and that was sale number 1. My cousin's a realtor in Hebron, and he saw my post, called me, asked me how it worked. Up this week, Vimeo to $1,500, and I said I'd do it. I ended up picking up the starter pack from Fred at his house in Indiana. Fred and his wife are very nice. They graciously let him come pick them up. I sent an email, awesome customer service, met him wife with that. So if you need Christmas lights, he's talking about Fred Zimmerman, you can go to christmaslights.io. It'll take you to their website, and that's where you can do that. We are keeping our prices at least $1,500 for minimum package. Next season, when I buy in bulk, I'm sure I can get my prices anyway. Anyhow, just wanted to tell you that story, that people say it can't be done at those prices, just haven't tried. I think by Wednesday night, we had 25 to 30 inquiries, and I nabbed 2 good money makers. Let the Christmas light and pressure washing begin. And so the reason why I want to hit on that story is I want to say that, yes, you can start your Christmas light business even as of right now. You might not think that this is late, but it can be done. So that way, when you are ready to go, it's next year, you will have pictures that you can put up to your Google My Business, which if you do your Google My Business, you can have pictures for that. You can get 3 or 4 reviews for that, and that will help you get started next year. And that will help you get kicked off by really going at it next year. Because even some of those pictures you can start posting in the Facebook groups and stuff like that, that you can do that to make that happen. And so that is why I say start now and get started. So I got Freddie is coming up here, and we'll see how he's doing. He's probably out in the dark time and working and all the fun things that he's been doing. He's been posting on my stuff and that kind of stuff. But Fred, how's it going out there?
Oh, it's going good.
Where are you at tonight?
Up in Noblesville.
Noblesville, that's the north side of Indy, right?
Let's see real quick.
Is that the north side of Indianapolis, correct?
That's correct.
Gotcha. That's where all the rich people live.
Except for the ones in Cincinnati.
But what I want to hit on tonight, and the reason why I want to hit on it is because I've been talking to a lot of people that have been installing Christmas lights and have made a lot of money, and even some of them have done a lot of money off of not even marketing real hard. And so, and then we were talking about quality of work, and because there is a competitor around here that DJ went to do a lights job, and the 2 neighbors' houses was done by this competitor, and both of them had probably 8 to 10 bulbs out of each house. And so if you have crappy customer service, it's not going to help you out in the end. And this is some things that can keep you from getting to that $10,000 days. And yes, he's doing $10,000 days. He's probably doing $20,000 days because he's got 3 or 4 crews going. But when you do crappy work, it will catch up and bite you in the butt every time. So, we do have to be careful when we are doing crappy work. I mean, he's doing crappy work as even, coming off the corner, instead of running the extension cord down a gutter, he's just letting it fall straight down. And so, it's just flapping in the wind. So it's not even quality work at the end of the day. But there is definitely something that you got to know of. What do we got to do to get to $10,000 a day? It's really not that hard. If you can get your average ticket up to $18,000 to $2,000, that's 5 to 6 jobs. And if you got a crew of 2, you should be able to do 5 to 6 jobs. How many jobs do you do a day, Fred, on a per crew, or you try to hit on?
Well, we're down to 1 crew. I lost a crew, so but today we did 5. So yeah, I think we did 5 for the whole day.
5 crews. So how's the supply chain going right now?
Yeah, I mean, if you just talk to other suppliers, most everyone's sold out of most everything. Or I mean, you could find stuff. You just kind of hunt and pick. We have a lot of stuff, but at the same time, we're light on a lot of stuff. We might be getting a pallet of lights here in a couple of days, which would help us get. We're out of some colors, but we might be restocked here in a couple of days.
Gotcha. I was just reading the story about the dude that's just starting up that came up and met you yesterday morning.
Oh yeah. He's coming back again tomorrow.
Is he really?
I think he's from your neck of the woods, right?
Yeah, he is. Yep.
Yeah, he didn't know. He thought it was too late in the year to start, and he got going, and he's already getting a bunch of jobs.
Yeah, he's already closed, I think, 3 jobs at over $1,500 a piece. So that's pretty good. So what does Fred know right now?
I just hang lights as much as you can. I would, anytime you're getting estimates, I'd be putting them out. Like I'm telling Ryan he needs to slow down and put his estimates out, because in about a week the estimate your volume is going to slow down substantially. So you want to try to close as many as you can right now. This last really busy week.
So this really busy week is a week that we really need to try to really keep scheduling out for into the first week in December is pretty much what you're saying, correct?
Yeah, if you see some of these guys that say they're booked out or installing all the way to like the 15th of December, that's because they're closing them and landing them now and getting deposits. If you if you're so busy right now, you're ignoring your phone, you're going to slow down probably the first week of December because everyone's going to be caught up and start dropping their prices, just trying to get rid of all the rest of the bulbs they got and hang them for fire sale or whatever.
Or if you have any bulbs to hang, that's the other issue that comes into this play a lot of times.
That's true.
Um, what with that said, what are some things if you're especially new, which I know you said to make sure you're getting your estimates out? What are some other things we can try to do to get us scheduled out further?
I mean, if you're still putting out yard signs, and I mean, right now, if you're still in the Facebook groups, not in our group, like that's dumb, but go into community groups and post pictures of your work, you're going to still get a lot of estimates. At this point, though, you're going to see a lot of people that want their own lights done. You're going to be bailing out a lot of people that are halfway done with a job and they can't finish. Um, I just got a job today. We charge them $1,100. It's a really simple roof line, but they hired someone off of Home Advisor, and the person came out. It is a 19-year-old girl, and she couldn't get up on the roof, so she could only do the first story and couldn't get to the second. And she bought stuff from Home Depot, and all the fuses popped, so nothing's working, and the girl couldn't figure it out. So I was like, we're gonna put LED up. I felt bad for the homeowner, but I was like, I can't send my guys out there for a couple $100. Like, we're gonna pull everything down and put our own lights up.
And that's something else of talking about customer service. Actually, one of the guys I was talking about that was doing bad customer service, that um, Dreamy Whip actually put up like 5 or 6 houses on the street, and finally she kept coming out every day of, "Can you fix this? Can you fix this?" And he's like, "No, I can't fix it. No, I can't fix it." And finally she said, "Well, how much is it going to cost for you to take that crap down and put it up?" And it ended up being like 25 or $3,000 for him to take it down and put it up, because he wouldn't do the customer service. And so, customer service, I think that's what a lot of people forget about this business is, if you do good customer service, these people will come back year after year after year. And so the lifetime value of a Christmas light customer can be huge. A lot of times we think, what's the life, we think that $200, $500 pressure washing job is a lot. But the lifetime value of a Christmas light customer, if you do good work and you charge enough in the beginning and don't go cheap to where you got to keep bumping them, you can get up to $20,000, $30,000 for the lifetime value of a Christmas light customer. And so that's the importance of making sure that we charge it enough, so that way we can come back next year and do it again. And so that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, so you can get really wrapped up in trying to get the new jobs because they're paying customers and your old ones are already paid. But uh, like for the last 2 weeks, I really couldn't. I didn't have a lot of big install days the last 2 weeks. My biggest install days were all the way before the 15th because I've been busy running around doing repairs and hanging garland and wreaths. Because I mean, if people are calling and you're waiting a week to get to them, you're gonna start. I mean, they're gonna start to be pretty upset at you and start trying to shop around next year.
Yep.
So your most important customers are the ones you already have. So
Yep.
make sure you bid them high enough that you can service them.
This might be a question for you, because I've never done this, and I don't know if you've done them or not. Any advice on wrapping a 35-foot palm tree? I have a lift and I'm by myself.
I don't do palm trees. Ryan Culp just showed me some pictures of palm trees he did, I believe. I don't know how it's possible, but no, I don't. I have no clue.
And I think the biggest issue is probably wrapping around, getting around. I don't know, because I don't even really know how big and round. They don't look that big until round. I've done some bigger trees where I've taken like a piece of all thread, a small piece of all thread with a hook or something that you can reach around the tree, hook it, and then pull it. That's just kind of what you got to do at the end of it, especially if you're doing it by yourself.
I think Donovan's working on an invention for wrapping trees better. We were talking today earlier about it, but maybe next year. But I think with the lift, what I've seen, there's guys in the group that are doing palm trees off of ladders. So you just have to have two guys, I guess, one on each side, I think.
Right. I've done it with a ladder, and I had a guy with a pole on the bottom. When I would hand it, and he would hold it onto the tree, and then that would allow me to get to the other side and to get it back. But doing it by yourself might be tough. You could maybe staple it, and then you'd have to go around, but that would take forever. Um, Minimum $600 too much? Nope.
No.
This is a good one for Fred. I need help with my phones. Any suggestions?
Well, okay, Ryan Culp has the best solution I've heard this year because he's running short staffed. So I hired a secretary this year, so that's helping keep my phones. So she just calls me whenever like there's a real big fire I need to put out. But um, that was a real awesome idea Donovan gave me this year. I mean, pretty, and you said the same thing. Your office staff is pretty important. Like it's almost as important as your install staff. It's like Donovan's putting out some pretty big numbers, but he only really has two like full-time installers, and then he's got two full-time office people to answer the phone and put out estimates. So that's how he's doing the numbers he is. So this year I got a full-time office person, and that's really helped keep stuff organized and answering the phone. But Ryan, he couldn't afford. He tried to get office. It kind of fell apart. But what he's done is on his website, he has a form that states everything that he needs: their name, phone number, address, email address, and says, please send a picture of your phone number to this email, whatever. And then it says, what's your budget? So it's already pre-qualifying. And when he'll get on the phone, he'll talk with them for a minute or two, and he'll have a short conversation. But he's like, you know what? I can get you a quote right now. I'm working. I'm on a job. But if you will go, and he'll send him a link from his phone to his website, which captures all the information that he needs, and it gives the budget. And I think he's got the minimum on his that website page and everything. So he's not wasting his time trying to do any estimates for people that aren't qualified. So his website's qualifying everything, and he's getting off the phone within a minute or two of talking with them. So if you guys are good at building forms and could put it on your website, that's a good solution here for the next week. That's the best solution I've heard all year.
The websites that I've been putting out actually have the minimum of, the package starting at this, and then it kind of goes up to see where people's budget is. And it does still knock out a lot of the tire kickers, but it still gets a lot of tire kickers because they won't hit that in the form. I know with DJ, he's been having issues with, they've been filling out the form, but they're putting that lower price, which I probably need to raise that minimum up, and that way people will automatically see that minimum of this is the minimum. But that's one of those things that it is a good idea to get that. I think that if people are calling, I think it is good to answer the phone if you can. Obviously, like I've always said, if a female can answer the phone, that's definitely something that can help you close. I've seen a lot of females close a lot more than usually a male can, just because they can answer the phone and they can get to the stuff, and they're not committed to it so much, and they won't give as much discount at the end of the day as you will, because you might try to pre-qualify them and then they don't think they need it, but then they won't pay for it at the end. But them are some things that I would definitely I guess he left me. Those are definitely some things that I would look at when we're dealing with trying to get answering that phone. Because it is important that we answer the phone. And I understand it can be hard, and and if you can't answer the phone, make sure. So another thing you can do is like I was saying, I have a form on there that you can send it to them to go get that. And what it is, and you can do even a nice voicemail of, hey, thank you for, and you can go to Fiverr and they can get somebody that will do the script for you, and so it sounds nice. And so especially if you are one that can't talk on the phone and chew gum and sound good, then those are some things that you can do. Is go to Fiverr, and there you can have them with the, hey, thank you for calling, blah blah blah. Please, if you would like an estimate, please fill out this form on this web page, da 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 da, whatever your page is, and we will get you an estimate right away. And so what that will do is that will allow you to be able to get that estimate out to them fast, and that is the goal. And I can show you what if you join ChristmasLights.io, I do build the websites for you. It's a website that you can use, and I will, let me see if I can pull it up here. Liberty Christmas. This is something that you can do so that way you can make it simple for them to come onto your website and um, and get that for you. So that way you can see if I can find the website. That way you can get that very fast and make things happen. So that way, when people are looking at you, you can do what you need to get them up and fast and get them a quote. And this way, you get all the quality information. So then that way, once you get all the information, then you can go real fast and make it happen of what you need. Um, that's not the website I want. And so them are some things that you can do to make things easy. And so I will show you here shortly. Copy of scene. I think that's what I want. So you can see here that this is the website. Obviously, it's got the free quote, fast, all that kind of stuff, which it will take you down here so that when they fill out the information, it gives them the name, the email address, the phone number, email, and then here you can sign, what are you looking to light up? And so you can do that. And then what is your budget? And so I need to put minimum probably instead of starting packages, but that will help you do that. And then you can load 2 or 3 images here, and then that way they can show you the house. And a lot of people have been loading these houses. And this website has been doing very well. It's gotten about 40 some leads off of it already. So it is converting well. And this isn't even DJ telling people to go to the website. He don't even have the phone saying to go to the website. So it is a good converting website. If you join christmaslights.io, you get a free website as long as you're a member. And then that way for next year, you can get it going, all of that kind of thing. As of right now, we actually have a Black Friday deal going. So it is something, if you want to think about that you can do that too. And if you go to pressurewashhelp.com/BF, that's the Black Friday deal. And this is actually DJ. He did 2 jobs here today, and it's kicking his butt, sounds like. Had a lady call me 3 times, but was not okay with spending our minimum $500 each time. What's the polite way to tell them no or call someone else? This is our minimum, and if you don't like it, go somewhere else. And that's pretty much it. And you can check their number, and if you don't sound like it, block them. Just some things you can do. In a pinch, I ran out of females, so my ends that were terminated, I bought some female connectors from Lowe's where you strip the insulation and wrap it around screws. Will this hold up? I'd be kind of leery of stripping anything. I mean, I've known people, you could cut one leg shorter than the other one, take some electrical tape around it, and that can also help you do that too, would be a thing that you could do. So that's some things that you can look at doing. But yeah, so these are some things that you can do. Took us some massive houses, lower roof line $10 a foot, upper roof line $15 a foot. And people might say, well, there's no way I would pay that or they would pay that. You'll be surprised what people will pay for Christmas lights. I say this all the time, and I mean it all the time. You are not your customer. And so you got to remember that, because Jason would never, ever pay $1,000. Jason wouldn't pay $500 for Christmas lights. But there are people out there that will pay $5,000 for Christmas lights. There's people out there that pay $10,000. The people that are paying $10,000 houses aren't living in my type of houses or my style of houses. They're living in big 10,000 square foot houses. They're living in 5,000 square foot houses, and they can afford $5,000 to $10,000 on Christmas lights. And so you got to remember, that's what we got to do is we got to go find our customers so that way we can grow our Christmas light business. For instance, Donovan has hit the customers of, the 2,000, I think he's up to $2,200-$2,300 per job. And so when you get up that high, those are some things that you can do to make sure that you can keep growing your business. And so that is definitely something that you can do. And lifetime members can get in. Yes, I will hook you up if you want one. Yes. But these are some things that you just got to go in there and fill out the form on the Christmas light site so that I got all your information. But those are some things that you have to do to make it happen. If you do it, it can be good for you. That's just the way it is. Just go and take action. You know, I was talking to Dreamy Whip. He's going to end up doing almost 300,000 this year. And he was one that is a local guy here that I told him that he needed to raise his prices, raise your prices. And last year he was doing it for 4, 5, 6 is what his numbers was. I was like, you're way too freaking cheap. And this year he was 5, 6, 7, and then 6, 7, 8. Now he's 8, 9, 10, and so I'm like, just be $10 a foot for everything. Why you got to go cheap? Just do it. People will pay it. And so these are some things. You do good quality work, and you do the work that you need to do, and it can work for you. It's just the way it is. And so, I was seeing somewhere up here that where Jason had put, I have a $6,000 and a $4,000 install this weekend. So that's 10 grand right there. You got to remember, this guy is a full-time firefighter also. So you can go out there and make money during Christmas time. It is definitely possible for you to do $10,000 in a day. It's not that hard to do. Does it take some work? Yes. But you can do $10,000 in one day during Christmas lights. And so what are some things that you have to do? Well, first off, you got to do marketing. If you don't do marketing, it's going to be hard to get business. And I know I've seen people say, well, you just got to do good work. Good work will get you going, but you have to do marketing. If you do marketing, that's what you're going to need to do to get moving. Can you do good work and get customers and build relationships? Absolutely. But out of the get-go, if you don't have relationships in that, go do your Google My Business. Google My Business is huge and will bring you lots of customers. Not only that, but go do and make your photos on Google My Business and post on Google My Business and pictures on Google My Business. All those things can help your business grow. Make sure you're getting your reviews. And I know Christmas light reviews are a little bit harder to get, but these are some things that you've got to do to keep getting those customers, because the lifetime value of a Christmas light customer is a lot. And so, some things that you can do on Facebook that doesn't cost you a thing if you're on a budget. When you get to the job, you go Facebook Live. Hey, look at this beautiful house. We're going to make this house look amazing. We're going to make this house here. They picked and I've talked about this before, of naming your packages. This house here, it's the Christmas Wonderland house, or the Santa Special right here. And it's going to be so beautiful after we're done doing this house. We're going to put this beautiful 60-inch reef up here to really make this house look good. Also, something else that comes in this package is we've done the columns here, so that way this house will look amazing when we're there. And if you're at the end of the day and it's kind of right there at nighttime, that's the best time to go live anyway, because now everybody's home working from working, and they're sitting on their phone on their couch, and you can show, look at this beautiful house we did today. This house here, they went extra. They went with the set 2 reefs. They wanted to really pop. We did the columns here. We did garland on the guardrail. We put some C7s out. We did the little bushes here. We did some ground stake lighting. And man, this house looks amazing. Just look how beautiful this house is. I'm not even asking you to go buy Christmas lights. I'm telling you how beautiful this house is. If you want your house to look like this, go to my website, fill out the form, and you will be able to have Christmas lights just like your house can look just like this. And when you do that, this is definitely something that will help you pop. This is some things that will make it pop. Another thing I want to hit on too is this late in the season. and you're trying to get your schedule booked out till December 10th or 15th, this is a good time to follow up. Follow up on your leads. Follow up, follow up, follow up. Send an email out, send a text out. Hey, we only have a few lights left. If you would like to get your house decorated, let me know soon, because with the supply chains, we're almost out of lights. So if you would like to have your house decorated for the season, for this beautiful Christmas season, let me know. Here's your quote that we gave you earlier. So this is a great time to follow up. Following up is huge. Even in Christmas lights, we want to follow up. When we don't follow up, we're just leaving money on the table. And so follow up, follow up, follow up. And now I'm not saying give a big discount or nothing like that. I'm just saying follow up with these people. If you don't follow up, you're just leaving money on the table. And so these are definitely some things that you want to do to make sure that you are getting your calendar filled out through December 10th. You should be able to work through to about December 5th to December 10th. And that's when it's going to dry up. But it's one of those things that we need to do now. And like Fred was saying, even you're busy right now, but we need to be getting these people scheduled out and booked, and their 50% deposit, so that way they can't go nowhere. And that way we can make sure that we're getting those Christmas lights up. So it's definitely something that you can do, and it's definitely something that there is a lot of money to be made doing Christmas lights. So make sure that you go out there and hit it hard and get it done. What is a fair price to hang C9? What is a fair price to hang C9 lights on a 70-foot tall spruce tree, excluding the material cost and the man lift? Thanks. Depends on how many lights you're going to put on it. It depends on a lot of things. A tree like that, you're probably honestly looking at $5,000 to $10,000. You're going to have a lift, you're going to have all the lights, and you got a time. You got to take the lift back out there to get the trees back out, the lights back out of the tree most of the time, being that tall. So, your costs are going to be quite a bit. That's not just a 50-foot pull behind, tow behind lift to get there. You're going to have to spend, you're going to be probably $500 just in lift to get it there and back to get that. Good information. So true. Follow up with any business, and that's 100%. Following up is huge. You can send a text out. You can go and send out a bunch of texts, and that way you can make all the texts the same. Of hey, we're just put all the numbers in there, and it blast all those texts out. Of hey, I think Text Magic is one of them. And it'll text out everybody. And so those are definitely some things that you can do to use to help you keep getting your business growing, so you booked out till December. Do you order Christmas lights in bulk before you start jobs, or do you order after getting the job? Just asking because it's a big expense to order before the job to show up the bulb color. I'm not worried about bulb color. 90% of the customers are all going to be warm white. And so if it's not warm white, then I'm probably going to get the job and then order multicolor after the fact. But 90% of the jobs are all warm white. If you're on a budget and you don't have no extra money, get 2 or 3 jobs lined up, get the 50% deposits, and then you can pay for the lights. It's just like I read that email. He got 2 to 3 jobs at $1,500-$1,600 a piece. Got the deposits. Went up to Indianapolis, 2 hours away. Got his lights. Came back, and we're going to install them on Wednesday. I'm going to go help him install them on Wednesday. And so, it's just about do what you need to do to make it happen. And so that's a good question, but with that said, 90% is warm white. Warm white is where we want to be at. That's where most of the people are going to be at. So it's a good question. If anybody else has any questions, definitely put them down there, and I will hit on that again. But again, if you need any lights, you can go to christmaslights.io up here. And in there, you can scroll over to buy lights. It will take you to Fred and Donovan's website, and I get an affiliate that. So anytime you're buying lights from there, make sure you hit my link there. It's easy to remember, and I appreciate it very much. It does not cost you anything. Um, but yes, and then also, like I say, I am doing the websites with my Christmas light training. So if you want my Christmas light website for you, you do have to stay a member to keep it active, but it does convert well. So that is the important part. And that's, like I say, I think it's gotten 40 leads, and that's with the $600 minimum. Our package is starting at $600. So that's pretty good. Um, he's only been spending, I think, $40 or $50 a day on Google Ads. So that's just the way it is. Any other questions? This is the time. I tell you this is another good time to do something. I was telling you to go Facebook Live and showing your installs. This is a good time to go and drive around and show other people and see cool installs. This is one of those things that this is a great time this is when I would drive around and look for all the really cool installs, and I would go live. Hey, I'm Jason. Look at this cool install here in wherever it is. If you haven't seen it, it's definitely worth the drive. The kids love it. And then just sit there and watch the music dancing and stuff. I would go to the Cincinnati Zoo. The Cincinnati Zoo has an amazing light display there. And I would go there and take pictures and show it and do lives there. And that way people would start watching my lives, so that way I could do that. I didn't just do my own pictures or my own houses. I went and drove around and found cool houses that do it. And more houses are doing cool houses. So it doesn't take a lot to find a really cool house that does, all the music displays and all that kind of stuff. I'm giving information for people, and then that way they will remind them of me what they do think if they want Christmas lights. Do you prefer digital timers or dawn to dusk timers? I like the dawn to dusk timers, the ones that just got the knob that you can do 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, or all night. Those timers are like $10 to $15. Those are the timers that I like. The digital timers, if the electric goes out, can cause issues with them sometimes. So that can be some things you got to watch out for those. I do lives after it to show our customer service that we come back and check. And that's a good point. Hey, look, we did this house today, and I'm making sure that your house is working and everything is proper. And so, this is the house that we did today that looks amazing. Don't you want your house to look so good like this here? We ended up putting 2 reefs on this house. We did the columns. We did the stake lighting. The stake lighting looks really beautiful on the bottom here. This is why we do the stake lighting, and we recommend the stake lighting and all of that kind of stuff. Just a minute, 2-minute live, in and out, and be done with it. And that can be huge for you, huge at the end of the day. Awesome, thank you. Any other questions? I like questions. I will answer your questions. But I just want y'all to be successful. I know there's a lot of money being made this year in Christmas lights. I know some people have been very successful. I know some people that haven't been successful. And a lot of it comes back to what are you doing in marketing? I had somebody ask me about how he spent $500 in Facebook and $100 in Google, I think it was, and I've only got 2 clients. And when we think about it, that's actually not too bad. And that's why we got to charge that $8 to $10 a foot, because and some people might think I'm crazy, But if we're buying ads and we're doing ads, it's going to generally take you about $100 to $200 per customer, is how much it's going to cost you. So if you've only spent $500, you're only looking at 2 customers, maybe 3 customers. It's just the numbers, the way the numbers are, and that's why we got to charge that $6 to $10 a foot, and it's really more to $8 to $10 a foot. Is so that way we can buy those customers. And you might think that, Jason, you're crazy. There's no way I'm going to spend $200 to buy a customer. Okay, Bob, then what's the lifetime value of that customer? If I spend $200 to get a customer and that customer stays with me for 5, 10 years and gives me $50,000, are you stupid? I'll spend $200 all day long to buy a customer. And a lot of this comes back to marketing and to knowing your numbers of, if I buy this customer this year and it's going to stay with me and the average lifetime value of a customer is this, then that's a no-brainer. Here's another thing. If you're at that $8 to $10 and your average customer is $2,000 and you're not willing to spend $200 to get an average ticket of $2,000 that will stay with you 5 years, that gives you 10 grand. And here's the beautiful thing about Christmas sites. If you do any other service, if you do landscaping, if you do pressure washing, if you do any of that kind of stuff, they're going to use your service in the spring too. So now you're going to get another $1,000 job off of them, $2,000 job of washing their house and sealing their concrete and sealing their patio. And so when you say, well, $2,200 per customer, well, yeah, it's going to cost you. And that's why I say, if you don't have the money to buy the customers, then the thing that you need to do is you got to do the work. You got to do the Facebook. You got to push it hard that way. The link won't let me back on. I don't know. I've started using door hangers on houses that don't have lights and also yard signs on jobs we have completed. These have helped me get jobs, and that's throwing your five around. Everybody wants to look like the Joneses, and nobody wants to be outdone. I'm getting ready to go do one of my buddies from the firehouse tomorrow. Houses. It's an hour and a half away. They live in the middle of nowhere, and him and his the other guy's another firefighter, and so they kind of go back and forth. And so I'm going to go down and light his house up, and I'm going to do it because he's a good friend of mine, and it's going to be kind of funny to mess with him a little bit. So that's definitely some things that I'm going to do to make that happen. What causes rectifiers to fail? Water, agua, is usually what causes them to fail. So that is definitely. Have you raised your labor rates this year? Given the labor, you got to. That's why, I used to always push $6 to $8 a foot. That's why this year I've went to the $6 to $10 a foot and pushing the $8 to $10 a foot. And that's for a couple reasons. One, the cost of materials is going up. You brought something up on that too I want to hit on. The cost of materials is going up. The cost of labor is going up. So if you think you're going to go pay somebody $10 an hour to go help you, it's not going to happen. You're not even going to find somebody at $20 an hour probably to go help you. And, I got in an argument on one of the boards of, well, you just don't understand, Jason. We live out here in the middle of nowhere. Well, you know what? People in the middle of nowhere ain't working either for $10, $15 an hour. You're going to have to pay $20 to $25 an hour. And how do you do that? And the same person I'm talking about that I got in an argument was fighting me because he was only charging $6 a foot and saying you can't get no more than $6 a foot. I'm like, bull crap. You're an hour away from DC. I know you can get more than $6 a foot. You can get the $8 to $10 a foot. You got to ask for it, and you got to go for it and push it and do it. But you can make that. And so, don't sit there and tell me these bull crap. I live in Cincinnati. If you look at it, the cost of living in Cincinnati is probably around one of the lowest areas, And so we're getting $8 to $10 a foot here. You can get $8 to $10 a foot where you are. Oh, so this was another thing I was going to hit on. So if somebody was asking that he's getting $8 to $10 a foot charging, he's closing very well. He was in one of the groups, and they're all dogging him because he's paying $2.30 a foot for material. And I want to say one or two things on that. One, if you're buying local, if you're buying from a local source, if you have a guy that's local, for instance, if you were in Indianapolis and Fred, or if you're down in Raleigh and they have the stuff, I would want you to buy from them, even if they didn't have the website. Because here's the reason why. If you need stuff, they got it. And so that's why I say if you can buy local, buy local. Here in Cincinnati, you can't buy local. There's no suppliers in Cincinnati. There's not one distributor in Cincinnati. We have to order it and bring it in. So if you're paying a little bit more to get that customer service of having somebody that, can help you and do things like that, it's worth buying local. If I'm in a pinch, I can go pick it up. If I don't buy from him all the time and I'm buying from everybody else and I'm in a pinch, you think he's going to help me out? No, he's not going to help me out. He's going to tell me go pound salt. So, the dude was charging $2.30. Everybody's like, you need to get your prices down. You can get it cheaper than that. But you're charging $8 to $10 a foot. Who gives a flying F if you're at $2.30 and you're using a local guy, or even if you're buying somewhere else? Because here's the thing: the dudes that I know that was getting on him for charging, need to get his price down, are the dudes that are charging $6 a foot and not making no money. And I want to jump on there and say, raise your freaking prices then, other people. If you're going to get on him about a $2.30 for the cost of materials a foot versus you're not going to charge $2 less than what he's charging, I guarantee you they're not paying $2 less. So, you got to think about it, the pricing, guys. And I know a lot of times it's hard to get that $6 a foot in your head. It's hard to get $8 a foot, $10 a foot, that people will pay that. There are crazy people out there that will pay $12, $20 a foot. I know somebody that sold lights at $20 a foot. $20 a foot. People will pay it. That was a big, long rant on. Thank you, Quentin, for getting me on that rant. What are your methods to complete houses quickly? One, having stuff pre-bulbed and clipped. That can help save you a lot of time. When you're home watching my video right now, you have a roll of wire on one side, you have bulbs on one in your pocket, or in there you got clips, and you have a garbage can. And you sit there and bulb and clip while you're watching tonight. Bulb and clip while you're watching television. Bulb and clip it and put them in a garbage can. Do 100 bulbs at a time. Cut them. Do another 100 bulbs. Cut it. And that way, when you pull out, you can put a piece of cardboard or a piece of paper so they don't get all tangled up. And then that way, when you go out on the job site, you can throw and go. If you're bulbing and clipping on the job site, it is going to take more time. That's just the way it is. So definitely one thing you can do. The other thing is if you're comfortable on roofs, that can help, and experience. Getting used to knowing how your power's running and just doing more. That's the best way to do, being able to do more. Solar installs, Christmas lights. I like that. I'll give it a shot next year. First, I have to master the skills. Just subscribe. And that's what I was telling somebody last week, and I told them on here. Buy the starter package. Go to christmaslights.io and buy the starter package. And do 1 or 2 houses this year. Do your house, do the neighbor's house. So that way you start learning the skill now. So when next year you're not into those learning skills. What up? Honestly, people... need to shut the fuck up. Way too many people talking smack. I raised my minimum to $2,000 and I'm still booking. I buy from Donovan and Dustin. What clips do you recommend for shingles and gutters? I recommend, I actually took a picture of that today. I recommend, where did that picture go? This clip right here. This clip right here. This is the Million V2 clip, is the clip I would recommend. If you go to christmaslights.io, there you will find this. You can find these clips and they have them. But this enclosed clip works really well. It does really well for you. Nice job, Richard. It's my first year and I started with a minimum of 500. A week ago, I raised it to 79 and my close rate is the same. Yep. Because here's the thing. If people aren't willing to spend $700, they're probably wasn't going to be willing to spend $500. That's just part of it. Again, if you want to go check out christmaslights.io, there I have my online training. I have, if you need to buy lights, you can buy lights. It's my affiliate link to Donovan's site and Fred, Christmas Light Contractors. If you buy the Christmas Light training online and you do it, the monthly membership, can have the free website. It comes with it. It is a template website, so I'll probably change it every year and put a new one up for somebody else. But it does convert well, and that's the most important thing. And if you want any of your pictures, I can swap out a couple of pictures and make that happen. Jason, I love H2O Improvement. If you don't know H2O Improvement, last year he was a forklift driver, and this year he's going to be $250,000. And so that is freaking awesome. To think that you can go from making 40 to 50,000 and almost do 200,000. So that's cool. Jason, since we spoke over Messenger a couple weeks ago, I applied your advice. I've raised my average ticket from 1,100 to 1,450. High five. High five. That is awesome. Awesome blossom. And so it's important, guys, and all we did was name the packages and name them, and we made it not a little bit easier to do it. That's all we did. And actually, I heard something today that, and this will be for everybody listening on here, and they did it through Jobber, but I'm sure you can do it through a lot of other ones, is basically the roof line is the price. That is the price right there. And then if you want to add the reef, they can add the reef. If they want to add the ground stake lighting, they can add it. But he don't do it right out of the get-go, because his thought was, and it kind of makes sense, and it's been closing. I think Donovan does it the opposite way. It would be a good test run of which one does better and closes. Where Donovan, it automatically puts them all together and gives you a total down there of $3,000, or you just have to add that, and then it's only $1,500. So I think it's definitely something to do. Goal is to get it to 1,800 by December 15th. Awesome. Well, I'm about out of air. Also, some things that I will answer that question, Vanguard. But if you join christmaslights.io, I do Marketing Mondays every Monday, which is a Zoom call, which you can get that. And so I talk about marketing. Each month I talk about different things. Being that this is the end of the year, I kind of ran out of things, but I'm actually going to talk about how to write stuff. The tool that I use and I love, that I write all my stuff with, all my titles come from it. Everything that I write comes from this tool, and it works amazing. Especially if you're dumb like me and can't write worth to save your life, it works amazing. You can write blog posts with it. You can write video descriptions with it. You can write Facebook ads with it. You can write Facebook descriptions with it. You can write Google My Business posts with it. And it's an amazing tool that I use almost all the time. And so I will be teaching about it actually, and that's every Monday night at 9. So whenever I get off here at 8:30, I do this at Monday night at 9. And if you join, you will be able to get into it tonight. It's a Zoom call. it's supposed to only last 30 minutes. It usually lasts about an hour, hour and a half, because people start talking about different ways of how they're marketing and stuff. And so if you want to check that out, it's definitely worth it. I'm such a newbie this year. I was getting Home Depot lights for people. I'm still learning, but next year I'm getting pro links to bulb lights to in bulk. Yep. Um, Help on how to quote faster. In there, I teach how to quote of looking at houses, and some of it is just quoting them and seeing how bad you're off. But there's known things of what we know on a house, and that's how you can quote fast. Do you only do Christmas lights for a full-time job, and when do you start installs? So I actually, if Spencer, if you don't know who I am, I owned a Christmas light pressure washing business, and I started my pressure washing business in 2011. In 2014, I added Christmas lights so I could work all year long, and hire employees. And so once you start getting busy, your first year usually you'll start by about November, but your second and third, and once you start getting busier, you will start the 1st of October, and you will start installing the 1st of October. And usually you'll install October, November, and then you usually end up about December 10th to the 15th, and that's everybody. You'll be done by then. So that's just how that works. Any software recommending for lighting design, creating estimates you recommend? If you got a cell phone and don't have no money, I know a lot of people will use just edit stuff. If you have an iPad, it don't work on an iPhone, but if you have an iPad, it's called Jolly Lights. If you have an iPhone, you can use Canva. Canva is free. Take the picture of the house on there, and you can do some pretty cool lights on Canva, real simple and fast. Is another way that you can do it, is Canva. Another thing you can do is another tool that I like to use is Company Cam. It gets you real nice straight lines. You can write on stuff. You can send that to the quote there real easy, and that's called Company Cam. If you want to try Company Cam, you go to pressurewashhelp.com/cam, Company. It's just Cam, I think, and that's another affiliate link. But yeah, so those are definitely some things that you can do to do that and make that happen. But yes. Do you use a tool to reach higher areas quickly or ladders? Mr. Longarm or a water-fed pole works really well to be able to reach, but most of the time you're either going to use ladders or you're going to get up on the roof. But do it safely is what I'm going to say about that. Because I don't want you to fall off the roof. Falling off the roof is not good. That can be very bad. Falling off the roof is not worth it, and there's usually somebody that falls off every year. So don't be that person. Oh, don't be that person to fall off the roof. But again, go check out christmaslights.io. I know supplies are short, and sometimes that will be. When will be your next Q&A? I come on every Monday night on this channel for Christmas lights at 9 o'clock. I also do if you're interested, I also talk a lot about marketing and stuff too here, but I also talk more every Sunday night and Thursday night. I go live on my pressure washing channel. You can look up Pressure Wash Help or Jason Guyman. And every Monday night or Thursday night at 9 o'clock Eastern, I go live there. And that's it. If you want to check out, I also have a podcast. It is, here it is. It's going to look kind of goofy because that's my green screen. You can check out my podcast. There's my podcast, kingofpressurewash.com/podcast. I do a lot of interviews with people. And so if you want to check out that, you can go check out it. It's not just about pressure washing. Again, I'm a big guy on marketing. It's just like any business. You can be the best out there for doing your craft, the craft. But if you suck at marketing, I've seen a lot of the best pressure washers out there go out of business. I've seen some of the best Christmas light companies go out of business because they don't know how to market. And so I'm a big proponent on marketing. And so you can also check that out there. And I have a lot of information out there on this. This channel right here, if you need anything for like Christmas light installs, stuff like that, I've pretty much broke down everything that is in there. This channel has a couple hundred videos on it. My pressure wash channel, it has like 700 videos on it. So I've given a lot of information away for free if you want to go check those out. Well, I hope you all have a great weekend or a week. I know this past weekend was hot Thanksgiving. This is usually the busy hell week. This past week, everybody wants their Christmas lights up before Thanksgiving. And so this is the week that we got to get them scheduled out through the 10th. Take your time, and I know you're going to be busy right now, but take your time to make sure you're getting them scheduled out so you have work. Hope you all have a great night, and I'll see you all later.